I've disappeared into a black hole.
The 121-pound payload of scientific instruments will eventually sit atop a lander that weighs 772 pounds. It, in turn, will be encased in a Delta II rocket weighing over 500,000 pounds, built to propel that package into the Martian atmosphere at 12,750 miles an hour. Unlike the airbag landings of the Mars rovers, Phoenix will have a relatively soft landing, the first one since the Viking missions over 30 years ago.
Touchdown, we have touchdown.
Slowed at first by a parachute, the craft will then land safely only with the aid of 12 thrusters and guided by that pesky landing radar.
The problem, it doesn't seem to have an end to it. We've been working on it for a year now. We've had 3 or 4 different drop tests where we drop this radar out of a helicopter and simulate landing on Mars, and we've found problem after problem after problem. We think we're getting near the end, but this does cause me a lot of worry. Well, just recently we put on all of the instruments in their final configuration, exactly the way they're going to appear on Mars. So it is ready to ship to the launch site where it's going to be integrated into the launch vehicle. We have a couple of months to do the final integrations of the spacecraft to the launch vehicle. We have to put fuel in it. We have to arm the explosive devices that pull things apart as we go through the atmosphere when we finally get there. And so there's a whole series of steps that have to be made, plus a lot of reviews. And finally, it's closing out of paperwork. Paperwork is a major part of a mission of this sort. I think if you took any piece you wanted off an electronics board and pointed to a component or a mechanical piece, you could find a large packet of documentation that goes with that piece. I'd have to say there may be 10 million pieces of paper associated with this mission.
For centuries, scientists wondered if Mars might be covered with vegetation.
We have all seen in books and movies a lot of discussion about space travel, going to other planets, finding life on other planets. And when you find that your country is actually doing such a thing, and in fact it's happening in your city where you've lived your whole life, people get really excited and they get behind us. They come over and they say, "Oh, we love what you're doing. You know, please, can we be included in some way?" And I say, "Sure, we're going to have open houses. We'd wish you'd come to all our open houses and see what we're doing. Check in."
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Cinco de Mars at the Mars Phoenix Science Operations Center. I just wanted to let you know about our next speaker, Alfred McEwen.
Build a thing that was going to land on Mars and to use it.
That's exactly what we're doing. We have here is a robot that's going to go to Mars. It's going to be.
I wanted to see everything, and this is the only chance we're probably ever going to get to see an actual spacecraft.
So today I want to tell you a little bit, remind you what the Phoenix mission actually is, why we're doing it. So here's a picture of our spacecraft. We're landing the old-fashioned way. We've gotten rid of airbags, and we're coming down with a propulsion system. If you were an alien invader, would you come down on the Earth in airbags and bounce around like? No. I mean, that would be so embarrassing. So.
Assembled, wrapped and crated, the Phoenix is now ready to leave the nest and take wing. Its short flight to Florida is minuscule in comparison to its 422 million-mile journey to Mars. With great care, amid plenty of attention, the lander is under the safekeeping of many watchful escorts.
Today's going to be one long day. The spacecraft left the Lockheed Martin facility at 4 a.m. Our flight manifest calls for liftoff from Buckley Field at 2 p.m. We're going to land at 7:30 p.m. East Coast time, and if everything goes well, we'll have it buttoned up in the clean room at about 11:30 East Coast time tonight. So that's a pretty long day.
We'll pull out, we'll get into position, and then winch in. So probably the safe spot for them would be on the opposite side.
Overall, the media of interest for Phoenix through its entire life so far has been pretty high. We're going to have 13 media representatives actually flying with us on the spacecraft. Local news is here in Denver, and we're going to have some folks down in Kennedy too.
You can see the nitrogen bottles there, so we keep a purge on it so it stays dry and clean. We're a little bit at the whim of the weather. but this time of year that's not particularly an issue. The spacecraft is designed for deep space environments, so standing out here in short sleeves isn't going to particularly be a problem.
Okay, but I didn't want to like bring it up there.